My name is Tatiana Shalepko. I'm a Cambridge English ELT consultant, and today we are talking about digital literacy for teenagers. Okay, more people joining. So, our topic today is safety and well-being online. And before we go to this topic, I will just remind you that you will receive the certificates within the thank you letter in your online form, which you will get in the thank you letter after this webinar in a few days. Okay. Okay, ready to go. So, digital literacy is not a life competency, but a foundation layer. You know that there are 6 life competencies, which are critical thinking, collaboration, creativity, communication, learning to learn, and social responsibility. And there are 3 foundation layers, which are digital literacy, emotional development, and subject knowledge. So digital literacy is a foundation layer. Why? Because first of all, it goes the through line through all of the life competencies as well as foundation layer. Digital literacy falls into 3 core areas: using tools and creating digital content, sharing and interacting online, safety and well-being online. We already worked on using tools and creating digital content, sharing and interacting online. There were webinars on these topics, and you can see them on our YouTube channel by the Linguist Company if you need some background information. But today we're talking about safety and well-being online. Safety and well-being online refers to a learner's ability to recognize risk, stay safe online, and protect their physical and emotional well-being. The skill also involves being able to practice good online behaviors by being socially responsible and empathetic when interacting with peers. Digital literacy, safety and well-being online also has 3 main components, and these are staying safe online, maintaining personal well-being, and safeguarding digital systems and devices. These are 3 main components, actually the only 3 components of safety and well-being online, and we will look into them a bit closer today. And we will try to make it fun. Before we make it fun, let's have a look at how the Cambridge Framework for Life Competencies works in terms of safety and well-being online. So these 3 components also have their example can-do statements. How can we understand that a teenager knows how to stay safe online? By this can-do statement, it means that the teenager describes appropriate actions that help ensure online safety. For example, maintaining appropriate privacy settings and blocking, reporting inappropriate content. And example language for each component is in the 3rd column. I never give my address, phone number, bank details to people online. And 3 other components. Maintaining personal well-being means that a teenager discusses the potential negative impacts of social media on emotional well-being, for example, social comparison to pressure and pressure to conform. Example language, social media can cause, and so on. Safeguarding digital systems and devices means that a student identifies appropriate techniques for backing up data. I always save my photos to the cloud, for example, of the language in this particular component. Okay. All of these for each core area you can find in the new brochure, Digital Literacy by Cambridge Life Competencies Framework. It's free downloadable brochure that you will find in the thank you letter as well. Before we go to the activities, let's look at a few strategies for teaching digital literacy. So these would be first using the Cambridge Life Competencies Digital Literacy booklet, which I showed you before. Monitoring, together with monitoring students' knowledge of language, grammar, lexical material, understanding of the new content, understanding new concepts. We can also monitor their digital skills by using the booklet and checking what they can do actually with different digital tools and digital environments. Integrating the use of digital tools. This one should go gradually. Even if you have only one computer in your classroom, you still can work with digital tools. For example, for the topics museums or traveling, you can use Google Maps, you can use Google Earth, you can use different tools from the museums. For example, Modern Art Museum has a beautiful walkthrough, digital walkthrough, and you can use all of those tools for your lessons or just to give your students some ideas what they can find online. Because it's not only bad things, it's not only social media, there are a lot of great opportunities online. And if even a student of the 6th grade or 10th grade, whatever, can go to such platforms as Coursera or FutureLearn and acquire a new skill in, for example, graphic design or other things like that. And we are the ones to facilitate this process and help them find the appropriate things, just as in the city. You can find criminals and you can find museums and cinemas. It doesn't mean that we cannot let our students go to the city. The same with internet. We just need to show them where they can find good things. Okay, integrating technology into classroom routines. This could be tricky, but for example, we showed you several times in our previous webinars such tools as Slido or Kahoot and things like that for testing, for getting the material into the system, and also for checking in the classroom. Yeah, you can have a folder with photographs and a folder that you can call present, and a student comes into the classroom and puts his photograph of himself into the folder present. Yeah, and you can make this activity more interactive and fun. Submitting blogging assignments. This is really recommended, having a platform that all the students can use. For example, different blogging platforms, and you can find those in our articles that we have on the Linguist UI website. There are several platforms, like you just Google blog, and there are free platforms where students can create content, place it there, comment the content of each other, and you can have the whole school there. Even Google Classroom is kind of a platform for blogging as well. Or if you don't want to spend too much time on that, you can just have a folder with Google Documents where students can send their assignments in a digital form. Connecting with others globally. For example, a very old but still working website by Cambridge University Press and Cambridge Assessment English, which is called pen friends, where students can find pen friends from other schools and share something, interact online with students from other schools who also learn English. Yeah, that can be the case. The only important thing that you have to discuss all the netiquette points before promoting the idea of interacting online and before promoting the idea of cross-cultural communication. Creating activities about online safety, and this is what we will look into. Before we go to that, some ways of integrating digital tools online, digital tools into your lessons. So replacing regular maps and pictures with online versions like Google Maps, Google Earth, VR apps, and so on. You can use it on the screen, on the laptop, or, well, if that is possible, on VR headset, but most of us would most probably have the screen. Using online versions of with other functions, and using online resources to redesign traditional listening and writing tasks, like podcasts, like YouTube, audio tours, audiobooks, and so on. Important part here that you don't have to replace everything, but just introduce this tool to your students. Introduce it once. Most probably it won't work. Introduce it second time, and maybe on the third time it will work. Most probably it will. Once students understand that, okay, this is the tool, we're going to use it, and it might be interesting. The only thing that you have to be motivated in using those tools yourself. And I'm happy to introduce some activity cards for teenage learners on safety and well-being online. We will look at the first point here, staying safe online. Sorry. Staying safe online. And the first idea to talk about would be cyberbullying. What is cyberbullying? It would be nice if you type in the chat. What do you think? What is cyberbullying? How do you define that? What is cyberbullying and how is it different from regular bullying? Bullying in the internet, yeah. Abusing others online. Evil jokes, bad comments, rude messages. Bullying using digital technology, yeah. Rude comments to someone's photos, that's true. Right. But we need to understand how it is different to regular bullying. It might be, it's not only about bullying, it's about bullying someone without seeing the emotional reaction, right? And this often this frees the bully himself. Like, if I don't see the person, I don't see how the person reacts to that, and it kind of gives me the right to text whatever I want, which is not the case. And the biggest difference is that this bullying becomes impersonal on one hand. On the other hand, it raises the anxiety and it raises the toxicity between people. Those can be friends in real life, but online someone can be a bully. And what we can do in such cases. For example, we give students a dialogue. kind of a dialogue from the group chat of 3 friends or 5 friends, I don't know. So, hey, who wants to play basketball tonight? Nobody wants to play basketball with you. Yeah, you're only interested in basketball. Boring. I will find new friends. Sure, bye. Here is the end of the friendship. So we have a conflict situation, and what we can do here, we can ask students to analyze this conflict, to think a little bit closer to the person. So student A, who wants to play basketball, his intention is to spend some time with the friends and do some sports. There is nothing bad about it. Student B, nobody wants to play basketball with you. Most probably his problem can be, and we can ask students to list those problems. First, he cannot play basketball. He's not very good at playing basketball. He doesn't want to do sports. He has some other plans. He just doesn't want to go out of home. They had a previous conflict. Yeah, and we ask students to list all those things and see what are the possible solutions. The next student, yeah, you're only interested in basketball, boring. Okay, so what's with this person? What's on his or her mind, really? Again, not very good at playing basketball, or maybe a good football player, but not basketball. Or maybe this person is more into arts, or maybe this person is more into just sitting down and talking, right? But what we can see on the surface is just the message. And you know that very often messages, in such messages, we don't really know the intonation of a person, and we assume that this person doesn't want to be my friend because he wrote, nobody wants to play basketball with you. But the intention, most probably, is very different. So what we do, we ask students to remake this dialogue, rewrite this dialogue, and maybe extend this dialogue so they all find the solution to the problem. So we still have, hey, who wants to play basketball tonight? Hello, I'm not a big fan of basketball, to be honest. So now this person communicates the real reason why he doesn't want to play basketball, that he is not a fan of basketball, right? And this is different because here I'm talking about myself and not bullying you. Another one, maybe let's go to the cinema all together this time. The person who is not into basketball just gives another suggestion. We still have this problem unsolved because, okay, let's go to the cinema, but I really want to play basketball. Yeah, and we can go further with trying to find the solution. Well, Jack will be back tomorrow. He will definitely join you then. And so on. We can ask students to make this dialogue longer and see where it can lead them. And it involves both creativity, critical thinking, emotional development, and digital literacy, because students need to keep in mind that messages do not communicate emotions non-verbally. They communicate some concept, and when I read, I put an emotion into this message. And we need to communicate those things more properly. Okay, I will check what's going on in the chat. Okay, thank you for the great idea. So, rewriting the dialects and finding solutions. And we can do that as well with different comments online, of course, not in the 5th grade or something, maybe for a little bit more adult students, but we can ask students to rewrite everything. And it's a great idea, a great activity, especially in the topics with functional language as agreeing, disagreeing, suggesting, inviting, and so on. So generally the card looks like this. When learners encounter conflict in a coursebook dialogue, for example, when two characters disagree, ask learners to imagine the conflict is taking place online. Are there any aspects of the dialogue that could be hurtful in an online setting? Yeah, students can actually create a dialogue between two people who are in conflict according to the story. Elicit different forms of cyberbullying, exclusion, harassment, cyber talking, or sharing other people's sensitive information, and ways of avoiding or responding to cyberbullying, showing support for someone being bullied, reporting it to the content provider, or blocking access. So these are different solutions, not just for a dialogue in a chat, but also on blog platforms or social media. Divide learners into groups and ask them to rewrite or extend the dialogue to include aspects of cyberbullying. Next, have groups swap their dialogues with another group and rewrite the dialogues a second time to include an appropriate resolution in which one or more of the characters responds to the situation. So this is actually modeling the behavior of students online and in real life, in face-to-face life, how to find solutions to the conflicts. As I was saying, digital literacy is the foundation layer, not just one of the life competencies or one skill, and it involves emotional development, different kinds of thinking, collaboration, and so on. So this is something to be definitely taught these days. Okay. Another one, safety and well-being online component, is maintaining personal well-being. We will have a look at this one. So when you go to some of the new material or just come across pictures in the course book, you can ask a question, which one is a good photo for Instagram here? And this is a question to you. Which one is a good photo for Instagram? I will go to the chat again. Okay, picture A, picture E, B. Okay, thank you very much. And why do you think these are good photos for Instagram? Why? Livable, active, no violence. Yeah, not sensitive content. Vivid, not ordinary, showing a lot of emotions, bright, expressing positive things, happy faces, smiling faces. That's true. Okay. And how are Instagram photos different from other pictures? What is the difference between Instagram photos and any other pictures you might have on your phone? Fake life. We choose the best ones. Yep. Exactly. They must be interesting and exciting. Instagram photos tell stories. Yep. Yeah, that's the fact. We choose the best ones. And the prettiest, the happiest, shows pictures that show us doing something cool, something not ordinary, something that describes us as a nice and interesting person, and so on. And this is the fact about you, yeah? And if you ask your students, they most probably say the same. Maybe they will have some more ideas. But how do such photos make you feel when you go on Instagram? How does it make you feel, really? Happy. Okay. Proud. Engaged. Okay. Optimistic. Surprised, shocked, involved. Excited about other people's lives. Kind of, yes. I hope you're all being honest right now, but I don't know. Very often when I go to Instagram and look at some of the photos where everybody has a perfect face, perfect body, perfect life, perfect coffee in the morning, especially if someone, I don't know, is at the seaside or something like that. I feel very often, I feel, this is what good life is. Yeah. And I don't usually feel bad. Yeah, but sometimes the self-esteem can go lower, especially when I see all those perfect bodies and perfect faces, very often photoshopped, right? Very often gone through some filters. And we need to remember, and we need to discuss it with the students, that you choose the best picture you have to post online. You put it through some filters. You decorate it in some way. You might write a nice story about it, but it's not your whole life. As well as the other people, we don't know what stands behind this photo. Yeah, for example, picture B. Everybody seems to be happy here, but maybe, yeah, and you can ask students to speculate what stands behind the picture. Maybe this is the picture of 4 friends, and one of them is leaving to another country forever. And in the moment after this photo, all of them will sit down and cry. You never know. Or at this picture, yeah, what can be different? Here, this lady is super happy. She won some marathon. But what stands behind the picture? Hundreds of days of training and preparation to this marathon, a lot of anxiety about being not successful, being the last one to get to the finish line, and so on. So, and that life, that speculation on these ideas about the photos can give us a bigger picture about real life of these people. And to add to this activity, this is Lady with the Ermine by Leonardo da Vinci, year 1489, 1491. And yeah, is this a good photo for the Instagram? If there was Instagram. Maybe yes. It's okay. I got it. Many men, many minds. Yeah, could be on Instagram. So here is this lady. Her name is Cecilia. Most probably her name is Cecilia. And this picture has been changed and reconstructed so many times that we don't really know what her appearance was. For example, her fingers were completely redrawn, repainted. Her area here between the eyes and her nose also were completely repainted. We don't really know what was the appearance of Lady Cecilia. And we can ask students to check the story of this picture, go on some website, like even Wikipedia, and check what's with this lady and Leonardo da Vinci. He painted her most probably when she was 10, but here she looks older. There are different thoughts, different opinions of different scientists that maybe she was 17 or maybe 10, we don't know. When she was a bit older, she was a lover of one of the like not kings, but how we call dukes in the court. And was she happy? We don't know. Did he love her? Leonardo da Vinci, we don't know. She was very smart. We know that she held a club of philosophy and things like that. But what was their life and what's with this animal? Yeah, we can ask students to try to see real life behind the image that stands on the surface. And if we start doing that with the pictures, with some historical pictures, that might be even more interesting and give them more thoughts about the today's contemporary context. Like, so here is this lady posted this picture on Instagram, but her nose looks different, her arm looks different. The whole picture was restored, filtered, and actually remade, and we don't know who this lady was and how old she was and what her life really looked like, even though she looks beautiful, rich, wearing nice clothes and having a nice animal. So digging into the history is a really great activity for understanding today's social media. Like, what was the illusion of social life in medieval times, and what is the illusion of social life these days? This will give your students a hint that, okay, life is a little bit more complicated than just a picture in the Instagram. So this activity is called emotional media. When learners encounter a photograph in course materials, ask them to discuss whether the photo would make a good Instagram photo. Why not? Ask the group how Instagram photos might differ from other pictures. People often show an idealized version of themselves on Instagram and often Photoshop images to be more flattering. Ask learners to consider how this might impact on other people emotionally. Like, photoshopped images can create pressure for people to be perfect and can damage self-esteem. It doesn't mean that we ask students not to Photoshop themselves and post any picture which is not Instagram picture, but to keep in mind that the world on Instagram is not the real world. This is just the pictures. And we shouldn't make conclusions on other people's lives from these pictures. Okay, another activity, we already looked into staying safe online, maintaining personal well-being, and now we will look into safeguarding digital systems and devices. One of my favorite activities, I made it up. So there are 3, even 4 steps to this activity. The first one, if you attended my webinars before, you might have seen this activity. So you make up a personality, name, job, age, superpower, likes, dislikes, and aim. I slightly changed it with some favorite things. For example, I have the same character. Her name is Pineapple Cherry. This is the name of the character. Her job is a fruit artist. Date of birth, any date of birth. This is not my date of birth. This is just today's day and some year. Favorite writer, favorite food, favorite color. And you can ask students to change those items if they wish, but to make up a personality for themselves. So this is mine. And if someone asks me, what's your name? I say to the student, Pineapple Cherry. What do you do for a living? I'm a fruit artist. I make art out of fruit. When were you born? La 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 la. And step 2 is the class survey. We ask our partner, before we ask, we need to help students to make all the questions properly. Like here for the name, we have the question, what's your name? For the job, what do you do? When were you born? Who is your favorite writer? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite color? Students, if they need, they can write down those questions so they don't get confused and don't just say name, job, and so on. So there is a proper survey with all the questions and answers. They write down the answers of their partner. And step 3, considering all the information about the partner, they make up a password for this personality. For example, for Pineapple Cherry, not me, but my partner would make up a password. For example, banana and the date of birth, or turquoise because this is my favorite color, and cherry because this is my surname. Yeah, so they create several passwords that this person can use online, and I create my own password myself, write it on the note, and then my partner is trying to guess what is my password. This is a fun activity, but it will lead us to step 3, which is the main step, making up a list of do's and don'ts while creating a password. And students make this list according to what they guessed or how close they were to crack their partner's password. For example, do use both numbers and letters in the password. Don't use your birth date. Don't use your surname or things like that. And they can make a really great guidance on how to create a proper password. And yeah, you can continue in the end, you can continue with the discussion about whether or not it is wise to reuse passwords for different accounts and devices and things like that. This card suggests that students make a password for characters from the books. If you have home reading or different reading tasks, it might be also interesting to get into this character better. In our course books, you can find a lot of digital literacy tasks. For example, in Prepare for the 6th grade, Prepare Ukrainian edition for the 6th grade, there is a wonderful whole unit about technology, about safety and well-being online, and there is a great story about the oldest computers. And in the end of this unit, there is a project which goes in the life skills section. It's called ICT literacy. In this particular section, students are suggested to start a blog, and there are really nice guidelines on how to make your own blog. And there is a project where students choose a blog topic, think about the design of the blog, choose the platform, and share ideas and posts in the end. So this can be even the whole week project for your students. In the 10th grade, there is the whole section dedicated to safety in the social media and responsible use of social media, with a great text that helps students reflect on their own use of social media. Also information about how it should be done and how negative behaviors influence other people. And again, the project that guides, like a guideline which students have to create on their own, with different pieces of advice on how to use social media. So this is regarding the activities that you can create or use to promote safety and well-being online. If you need to learn more about Prepare course books, you can go to Publishing Linguist UA website and check all the samples for books, course books, workbooks, grammar tests, audio, and so on. And also check out our Prepare Around the World edition, which helps students to get familiar with other cultures and other people all around the world. So it's a kind of country studies book for the 5th and 6th grade. Regarding Prepare Ukrainian edition for the 10th and 11th grade, we already piloted this book together with the School 108 in Kyiv, and you can see one of the final lessons by Alla Spizhova, the teacher of these wonderful students sitting here in the stadium having a speaking club. It was actually a week ago. This photo is 1 week old. And the pilot project is over for the 10th grade, and you can already check out our Prepare Ukrainian edition for 10th and 11th grade for the next year, especially if you want to prepare your students for exams. For example, Alla thinks that this book really fulfills the whole exam preparation idea, but also has really great drills for grammar, for lexical material, and the content of the book of the books is really engaging for students. If you want to learn more about our ideas on teaching in the new Ukrainian school, go to Linguist UA website, section with news, and you will find a lot of articles. For example, the most recent one for the 1st grade students, and different drama activities for the teenagers. If you want to learn more about Cambridge English and be updated all the time, sign up to our Facebook page. Everything goes there immediately. And if you have questions, feel free to contact me via email. These are my contact details here. And as of now, this is the end from me. I will now go to the chat and see if there are any questions. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I will try to open the chat bigger because I don't really... I can't keep track on all the messages. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Where can we find the recording? There is a YouTube channel, the Linguist YouTube channel. If you type in the YouTube "Лінгвіст, навчальна література", you will find this channel, and the video will be there next week when I edit it. And thank you, Olha, for sharing information about this picture. Really interesting. How can I involve digital literacy into the Waldorf concept? Oh, that's an interesting question, but I don't really think there is any problem with that, because even in a Waldorf concept, you still teach English, you still teach subjects, and there is nothing contradictory. You just if you have an English lesson and you come across some pictures, right? You can just ask questions about what would it be if there was this picture on Instagram, and ask those questions. You can have a look at the digital literacy booklet, and there are all the strategies that I named. They are fully explained in that booklet, and you can have a look how it can correlate with your program, your curriculum in the school. But really, nothing contradictory about Waldorf and implementing life competencies. Okay, thank you very much, and that's it. I will now disappear. Have a great weekend, and thank you again for listening to me, and for joining this webinar, as you always do. See you next month on the next webinar.